You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver media podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and the Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
Well, good morning and hello, kids. Welcome to Season 3 and episode number 73, one of my favorite numbers of the Daily Beaver here on the Crier Media Network. Today, recording date is Thursday. It's Thursday. Did you hear it? Thursday, Mr. Grizzly? It's Thursday.
Just by Thursday it is. I'll tell you this what, Lord Thunder
It's Thursday.
Jesus. Thursday.
Lord Thunder and Jesus, it's Thursday. They changed the date. The sun went down, the sun went up, and it's Thursday. How'd that happen? Anyway, it's Thursday, March 9th, 2023. It will be yet another mild late winter day here at the Beaver Lodge. We've had a series of them, so there you go. Ooh, look at this. Look at this. Kit Miss Sarika, look at those gorgeous mugs. And no, not the coffee kind. Starting with flattery and buttering me up. I am all for that.
It will get you everywhere.
I am all for that. Thank you. Good morning, Kit Jen. Good morning, Kit Saucy. Good morning, Kit Elaine. Good morning, Kit Jillian. So lovely to see you here. I'm your host, the Eager Beaver, pronouns he, him. Hey, Mr. Beaver, eh? And with me, as always, is my dear friend, Mr. Grizzly. And Kits, I'm sorry I did not say hello to you individually yesterday, but for some reason the chat was not appearing on my screen, so I did not see any of you or anything you had to say. So it's not that I was ignoring you. I just thought we just had a weird day where nobody showed up.
Tech issues. It happens. It happens.
Of course, a big thank you goes to our podcast's founding sponsors, the Peppermaster, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, and CanadianTarot.com. Today we have a Thursday morning wee nibble for you. But first, we must take a moment to do the most important thing we do on this show. And it's say hello to our dear friend, Mr. Grizzly, and ask you, how's your mental health today?
Well, good morning, Mr. Beaver. I think my mental health is pretty good. I'm just still in the fatigue phase, right? No matter how much sleep I get, I'm exhausted. Although I'm not nearly as tired this morning as I was yesterday, so I may be rounding the corner.
Okay, good to know.
Maybe.
Good to know.
I want to hit hard.
Yeah.
I got a couple of things for you, but let's hit hard with this one. I'm sure everybody's seen
well
this.
too, by the way.
Sorry. See, I'm tired.
You want? Yeah, listen, it must be good if you want to get right at it. Let's go, man.
Yeah, let's look at this. Brian Lilly
Yeah, oh God, no. Okay, I was trying to avoid that one, but all right.
No,
Let's do this
I gotta
of the day.
address this. So,
Right.
for those of you who are not aware, Jagmeet Singh had a thing where he questioned all the CEOs of the major grocery chains in Canada,
Yes.
and his turban yesterday was yellow. So Brian Lilly writes, and I quote, Jagmeet looks like he wore his no-name turban today just to grill Galen Weston at committee. I know he changes the colors for special days or occasion, which he spelt incorrectly. That is not how occasion is spelt. But didn't expect to see no-name yellow today. Is it on purpose or a coincidence?
He got too excited and typed too fast. His fingers went faster than his brain.
Sometimes
I know.
keep the thoughts to yourself. Like, Jesus, man. Look, you can think those things, but maybe not put them out for the world to see.
That's that groupthink thing.
Yeah.
Right? When you're sitting there like this, should I say this? No, I shouldn't say this. And then you invite like 30 of your closest friends or enablers around. Should I do this? Yeah, what a great idea. Go ahead, publish that. That's going to be a good look.
It's drunk logic, right? You know, you're sitting there having a few drinks with your friends on a Friday night, and next thing you know, it's 10 p.m. and let's go to Florida right now. Yeah.
I mean, come on. And, you know, I mean, they've done the dog whistling with Rosenberg.
Mm-hmm.
They've done the questioning people's loyalty to Canada with Hang Dong, and now Pierre is outright doing it with the Prime Minister, because originally the tactic was going to be that the election was illegitimate, like in the U.S. That's where they started the first 2 days, and they realized that was really not going to fly. So all the major party leaders decided that they were going to issue something that they don't believe that the results of the election were affected. But now it's not that the Prime Minister is illegitimate. Now the Prime Minister was in on it and is basically a foreign agent and is corrupt. So, because again, right, Barton was a very close friend and did, because turns out they never even had dinner once. And then, well, Rouleau is related, and turns out that Rouleau is a very common family name in Quebec, and the Rouleau in question weren't even in the same family. They just have to share a last name.
My surname in England is very, very, my entire name in England is very, very popular, but I have no relatives over there that I'm aware of.
Right. I mean, I dated a guy named John Smith once. When he crossed the border after September 11th, he was the one white guy on the other side of the room. Everybody, I've been on the other side of the room, right, with skin like this, traveling after September 11th for the first 5 years. I came with a complimentary 2-hour interview with every plane ticket if you look like me.
Oh, yeah.
Like this. And then they sent you to the back room. They said it was random. And then you look at the back room. Everybody was brown. Everybody spoke either French or Arabic as well. And the two or three poor suckers out there who weren't brown happened to be white with red hair and had an unfortunate name like Michael or John Smith. The poor sucker. Just to give the pretense they were balancing out. But it was, kids, trust me, it was not random.
Of course not. Of course not.
Because I'm not that lucky, and my number came up way too often.
I'm almost always the token white guy. Seriously. Okay. I get pulled into secondary all the time. But it's really a cursory. The guy literally opens up my suitcase and closes it and hands it back to me and says, have a nice day. You can go right to the front of the line. Happens all the time. So, I mean, they're oddly doing me a favor, because the secondary it's really just theatrics. It's all it is. And then I avoid the big lineup and go right to the front. So they're doing me a favor, but it happens all the time to me.
It happens all the time. Yep.
Because, well, I'm a tall, thin, white guy. I'm usually wearing a chapeau, a jaunty chapeau of some type, and I travel alone very often. So.
So, yeah. So we got people questioning loyalties now. Apparently that's the thing. And I am not impressed with that. So we have this thing going on here where the Standing Committee on Agriculture and Agri-Food basically have the three CEOs of the three main companies, Metro, Sobeys, Safeway, and Loblaws, come in and testify. And they're basically maintaining that their profits have not gone up. Their claim is that basically on a $25 basket of food, they make $1 profit. Which, when they say, but think of it, if that's the case, right? If something goes up 10%, well, then obviously the money that you make from it goes up 10%. Okay. They say that the main thing that generates their profits is when they have their bigger stores and stuff like clothing and whatnot. This is where they're making most of the profit, but not necessarily off the food, is what they claim. Now, this thing with Jagmeet Singh, as Brian Lilly stated, it is very clear and it's very well known that he wears headdresses of different colors, depending on occasions. I wouldn't be surprised if it was pink for Pink T-shirt Day. I didn't see, but I wouldn't have been surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it was red for Remembrance Day. And, right. So, now it could very well be politically.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yellow because no name red.
Canada's largest grocery chain CEO is going to sit in front of him.
He's hip. He's with it. He's with TikTok and all that kind of stuff, right?
Not anymore, but
yes, but I mean, he's not. There are communications advisors and staffers, whatnot. So it's like if Madeleine Albright had her brooches, right? If you remember correctly, and she had like a whole collection of them. She wore a different one, like this, and everywhere she went, you had to look at her brooch to see what it was that she was saying without saying it, right? So this could be the state, and of course, as Kit Jen says, yesterday was the start of Holi.
Yes, it was the start of Holi. Yeah, a friend of mine in New Delhi sent me a message. Happy Holi. I hope you're doing well. I'm like, yeah, cool.
Yeah, right. And we didn't on the show mention anything about. Well, we did indirectly Purim when we were talking about the conservatives doing stuff, but we didn't actually send wishes as well. So belated but sincere.
We were kind of incensed at the hypocrisy of the conservative leader with. Having his MPs dine with Nazi and he's not publicly said anything, and then he brings out a message for Purim. It's like, oh, really?
Yeah. So it might have been
maybe having
to do with Holi, or it might have been something. We don't know. We're not in the room. We're not privy. But let's say even if it was assuming that he was being a little cheeky and he wore yellow for no name. That comment,
not good.
Come on,
very, very, very bad.
Come on, man. We're already talking about you dining with Nazis, and we're already talking about like this. You're really gonna go and make a comment about someone's religious headdress at this particular moment?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like bad timing. Dude.
Inability to read a room, I tell you. Yeah, that's saucy. I would have assumed the color was because spring is coming, or he felt like wearing yellow. Maybe he just felt pretty. Right? I woke up today. I'm feeling pretty. I'm feeling bright and lively. I'm going to wear yellow.
I feel pretty. Oh, so pretty. Oh, so pretty and witty and gay.
Mr. Grizzly, thank you for joining the club. You would be very welcome.
I refuse to belong to any club that would have me as a member. I've said this time and time again. I'm quoting Groucho, man.
But our club has sick beats, man.
Well,
you're probably spinning the music. Let's be honest. At the club, you're spinning the tunes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that kind of happened, and it was not a shining moment.
No,
a shining moment whatsoever. I'm not impressed with Lily, but I mean, this is where they're going. I mean, this is where they're going.
Of course it is.
They've made a clear path. They made a clear decision to go down this path. Everybody's in on it.
It's not only is it a very horrible thing to do, it's just in very terrible taste. Yep. And I'm not even getting into the ramifications or the possible racist overtones. It's a dog whistle, by the way. But it just ill-advised statement, dude. You really, some thoughts keep in your head. You don't have to say everything.
Yep. Bad form. Bad form. A couple of little headlines that are going on. Brian Lilly wears Ivana Yelich as a hat. He should shut up. Yes. I wanna yell at you. I wanna yell at you. So, a couple of extra news items that happened. In the province of British Columbia, they have started doing a formal count of the homeless. To help, I guess, get a proper count and help decide on services and that type of thing. It had been done before, but it had been a very, very long time. So that's going on. They want to make sure they capture everyone. So if you happen to be living in BC and currently happen to be, for example, living in your car or couch surfing, or if you know someone, they can participate in the survey by calling 211. So if you happen to know anyone, let them know that they should be counted. And please send them some hugs because they're going through a tough time. Mark Garneau, who wasn't renamed yet to cabinet last time, to the surprise of many people, has decided that he is resigning his seat. It's a Montreal area seat that he's held since 2008. So, 15 years in politics. That's a
good stretch.
Yep. He was the first Canadian ever to go in space in 1984. I sense that there might be an ambassadorship, or if the job of CEO of the Canadian Space Agency is available, he might end up there. But I'd say that he's a pretty good candidate for an ambassadorship or a special assignment, right? A special envoy type thing, or to head a commission or that type of thing. So I'm pretty sure it's not the last we're going to hear of him. He was a very, 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 very good public servant and has been for a long time, and no one can doubt his dedication to the country, because you do not go through everything you need to do to become an astronaut. Right? I mean, you become a commander, right?
I have a sidebar here. I want to get to this quickly here because we don't have a lot of time this morning. I've got a clip from a comment from former CSIS director Ward Elcock. Did I say his name correctly?
I think Elcock? Elcock? Yeah, I think so.
Okay, here's the clip. Pay attention to what he says. This is a man in the know.
I think I think there's a certain amount of assumptions here that everybody's operating on. The reality is this is not a new story. This is an old story. Chinese interference goes back a long way. I obviously can't tell you what I know about Chinese interference, but I can assure you that it does go back a long way. I would remind you that during the Harper years, the then director of CSIS got into a lot of trouble because of public comments he'd made about Chinese interference. Chinese interference is not new news. So the reality, this is not the earth-shattering news that I think everybody in the outside perceives it to be on the inside. This is fundamentally old.
What have we been saying? What have we been saying?
Former CSIS director Ward Elcock. And what did he say? I can't tell you what I know, but I can tell you this has been around for a long time. It's a big nothing burger.
It's a total nothing burger. And as we mentioned on previous shows, it's a perfect opportunity, because it has to do with intelligence and spycraft, to basically just fill in the blanks with whatever you want to say to defame the other person, to sully them, and then just light your hair on fire and then run around screaming it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we've had a second report come out basically suggesting that the Prime Minister was briefed on more stuff. Of course, the Prime Minister was briefed on stuff. The thing that we don't know, and the Prime Minister has never said, I don't know nothing. I was never briefed on anything. He's saying, I was not briefed specifically on money going towards specific candidates. He may have been briefed that there was involving financing or attempted financing of candidates.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. What was he specifically briefed on? What detail and how much of that detail? We do not know, and as our guest Mubin told us, the initial reports stated that the Prime Minister had received specific direction or very, very, very strong advice, if not direction, to not run that one candidate.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody that has come out in public speaking about CSIS that's either worked with them or has worked for them has basically said CSIS does not do that. So the original piece of information, as we mentioned on the show, intelligence is not facts. Intelligence is information, as Mubin Sheikh, information plus value.
Mm-hmm.
It's a piece of information. Somebody said that this happened, and I attribute this level of credibility or value to this. Just like in the US when they were determining, when that latest agency said that they thought that maybe COVID came from a lab in China.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they said they made that conclusion with low confidence, 15%. And there are 8 other agencies in the US government that have made this evaluation. And some have said the same, some said the opposite, some have said. So when you put it all together, it's partial information that has not necessarily been verified.
That's right.
It could just be somebody told me this, and this is interesting, so I'm noting it down.
Well,
we don't know if it's happened yet.
You got to remember, so much of the information that they parse through is never meant to be seen by the public, because public will take a nugget and run with it as if it's the word of God.
Right. And if there's something criminal, they hand it off to the RCMP at that point.
That's right.
So nothing has happened yet that would warrant, according to the RCMP themselves, them even batting an eyelash.
Well,
this is not new.
Speaking of conspiracies, here's one for you. Not even conspiratorial. This is fact. This is from Andrew Coyne.
I'm glad you brought this one. Yep.
So I'm going to read this for the folks that are listening in on the audio version only. It's a clip from the National Post written by Andrew Coyne. While everybody's attention was focused on the truckiest jamboree in Ottawa, O'Toole was overthrown by his own caucus in a coup that featured Beijing-friendly activists playing a background role. By the time O'Toole took the helm from Andrew Scheer in 2020, they'd already taken over the old Chinese-Canadian Conservative Association, and a wealthy Chinese property developer with deep connections to the Chinese Communist Party had gone so far as to set up at least 10 Chinese conservative associations across the country. Well.
And we have another person on Twitter, goes by Bill Rice at Too Much Fun for Me, who published a list of things that are all public domain,
all of
that happen to be true, that we know. For example, what we know, and here's the thing, right? The stuff in the CSIS, or that's being claimed as stuff, we don't know for sure because we can be told. But what do we know? What do we do know for sure? We know for a fact, for example, the NSIRA and the NSICOP were started by the Prime Minister. So for those 2 days and 3 days where all the Conservatives and the Prime Minister knew about this and did nothing? No, the Prime Minister knew that there was such things as attempts to influence our politics, because that has been the case for a long time, and been presented with certain information that said that maybe the intensity of the activities have increased, or the sophistication has gotten better. He established, so it's not like nothing has been done. So they're lying about everything. They're lying about everything. But what we do know for sure, if we're looking at the past, is Pierre Poilievre took tens of thousands of dollars from China to travel to Taiwan with his girlfriend. Aaron O'Toole hired the former Huawei CEO to run his election campaign.
Well.
Conservative Party of Canada Senators Victor Doe, Don Plett, and Leo Housakos, of course, received ethics violations and condemnation for secretly and covertly taking undeclared exotic vacations from China. Chinese businessman Yi Wei Cheng gave thousands of dollars to Ontario CPC constituency offices.
Isn't that special?
The $1 million donation to the Pierre Elliott Trudeau Foundation happened under the watch of the Conservative Party of Canada.
Funny how they left that out.
Yeah. 3. Chinese developer Ted Zhu formed 10 nonprofit organizations to help CPC candidates, as you mentioned, Mr. Grizzly. 4. That there was a Chinese cheating plot involved fake ballots and directing voters to the wrong voting location to help CPC candidate Andy Wang Thang in the Peen Election Writing Association. Wang now owns the Dado Academy. My, how convenient. Pierre Poilievre declared that as a minister responsible for securing our elections, he said he didn't do anything because China wasn't helping him. Now, that one may be a little bit of a torquing of interpretation on that one.
Torque was probably handed in the tools to torque that one because holy crap.
But if we are looking at the claim of the Conservatives that, well, Justin Trudeau knew about this and he did nothing because the Chinese were helping him. Then how do you explain what China was doing the 9 years you were in government and what you did about it?
No, nothing happened. So, look over there.
So
look, a balloon.
I'm screaming now. I'm screaming now about China being involved in our elections because I claim that they're helping Trudeau. I didn't say anything then.
Yeah. Well, isn't that convenient?
Andrew Scheer, Sean Hu, and the Conservative Party led a fake news disinformation campaign written in 3 Chinese languages tailored to the Chinese Canadian community. Yes, of course. Well, hey, that was a conservative thing, right? Going to local or national papers in languages other than English and in French, and hopefully that they would have no time to do fact checks, or they would just publish things in its full, as handed to them, because oh my God, we're such a small unit and we're getting direct communications and direct copy from them. Like, ooh, yeah. So, what are you when you have candidates in your roster that speak the language of people that live in electoral districts where a lot of people speak languages other than English and French? What are you telling them?
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, remember that I believe there was that immigration thing for a while where they were saying that if they passed the application to a certain person, their applications would be approved more quickly. There was a thing like that a few years ago. So what are they saying? What are they saying to members of maybe some more morally conservative Southeast Asian immigrants when they're talking about, I don't know, homosexuality or drugs or to them in their own language? What are they saying about us that we're not allowed to hear? And why are they not saying it in English or French so we can all hear?
I have, as I'm sure you do, friends throughout this country who speak multiple languages.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe I should reach out to a couple of them and ask them if they could do a little investigating.
Yep. Is there as we say in French, deux langues, deux discours happening in languages other than English or French? With this group, I would not put anything past them. They have shown us who they are so many times. I believe them.
Oh, yeah.
I believe them.
Yeah. Evil.
Believe them the first time, man, because they're proud of it too. They know who they are too, and they're very, very, very proud of it. My lawyer Michael Kempa said that about this: if we come to understand that this is the type of thing that's actually quite widespread, that it plagues all political parties, and it is subsequently found that the Prime Minister made a mistake by not acting fast enough, why not? And Canadians might be more forgiving, says lawyer Michael Kempa. And that's pretty much what happened. And then if you're looking at the record, what actually has been done, I know of things that the current Prime Minister has done. I don't know of anything the previous government did or the one before that. I know the previous government thought that the best way to restore democracy was to cut the per vote subsidy.
Mm.
But yeah, and that was under Pierre Pulver as well.
I'm trying to do the math on that one, and it's not.
Yep.
I even carried the 1 in; it still didn't add up.
They even took away the per vote subsidy. We don't have it anymore.
Now it's gone.
Yeah, Harper killed that. Michael Kempa says that one of the best things that we can do, for example, is that we need to remember that political parties are independent private entities. They make their own rules when it comes to their nomination processes or their leadership processes. As we've seen often with Conservative Party of Canada, who can't seem to run a clean leadership race either because they make their own rules and they make it up as they go along. These things are not governed by Elections Canada whatsoever. So parties that do things like, for example, not really make it very clear when the actual nomination date and time is, or reveal it very late, well, that makes it very, very easy for a certain organization. And it doesn't have to be a foreign entity, right? It could be a group with an ideological interest or a business interest to like recruit 300 people, put them on buses, drive them into the nomination from the riding, and secure the nomination. So cleaning up the nomination processes, dates well known, well in advance, cleaning up the donation process, all of that kind of stuff. That's things that we might need to do, and parties that are not willing to do that are probably the first parties we should be looking at and asking, why? All right, kids. That's the end of this episode, Mr. Grizzly. I think we have a show.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
Short, sweet, and to the point.
Short, sweet, and to the point. And there's so much other things we could have talked about today, Mr.
Tomorrow we've got lots of time. I'm working from home tomorrow. Today I have to be in the office at 8. So tomorrow we've got lots of time.
Exactly. So that's the end of this episode of the Daily Beaver. We hope you love listening to us because we love making this for you. And remember that sharing is caring. So please spread the word. And a lot of kids have been doing that lately. I've been seeing the tweets. Thank you so much. Thank you, especially with some very, very, very kind compliments. Remember that sharing is caring. Word of mouth is priceless. Please keep letting your peeps know about us because democracy is something that you do. Please, again, still write your MPs, write your media, write your senators. Don't let up on that whatsoever. Do not let up. Do not take your foot off the gas. And also, please, donations for Friends of Rosie. We're still doing that. So if you would like to make a monthly donation commitment, let us know and we'll put you in contact with Constance. If you want to make a one-time donation, just do it through our coffee, Right for Rosie. We'll eat the administrative costs. Apparently, some people have already made pledges, which is very, very nice. So thank you very much. Please keep them coming in. If you really like this podcast, you can find us on the Crier Media Network, as well as all Beaver Grizzly friendly platforms. Stars and reviews are very, very much appreciated. So please be generous. We love to hear from you. So please reach us on our Facebook page, True North Eager Beaver, our Twitter feed at True Eager, or by email, truenortheagerbeaver@gmail.com, and subscribe to us via our pod page, podpage.com/the True North Eager Beaver, all lowercase letters with hyphen between each one of those words, and we'll come to you when we have something fresh off the bandwidth. Why not also subscribe to our True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated YouTube channel? That helps us up big time. Last time I checked, we were at 172, so thank you, kids. We really appreciate it. And we can't do this without you or your support, so if you feel that we've done a particularly good show, well then, if you see that QR code right next to Mr. Grizzly's head, if you scan that, that will lead you to our Coffee and Hot Chocolate Emergency Reserve Fund. Yes. Yes. Every now and then. We need staff to write this show. And Mr. Grizzly's staff keeps on disappearing. So we need to hire new staff. So if you're watching, you can scan that QR code. And if you're listening, let your fingers do the walking to our tip jar, ko-fi.com, coffee/eagerbeaver, all in one word, lowercase letters. That's ko-fi.com/eagerbeaver. And we appreciate everything. And if you like value for money, then get yourself some True North Eager Beaver merch. What is that, Mr.
Merch
Grizzly?
store is on hold. There's no merch available currently. It's on hold for the time being.
Oh my God. What will we do
I sent you a note about that. Did you not get the note?
I did not get the note.
Yeah, it was in the email I sent last night. Yeah, it was in the email. No, the merch store is on hold for the time being. It should be up and running again soon. It's because we're switching providers. So it's on hold for the time being. There's no merch currently available, but hopefully in the near future. And I'm going to have these available too.
All right. So, kids, your passion for fashion has to be on hold for now, but don't worry. We'll come to the rescue. From the Beaver Lodge, this is your eager beaver saying, until next time, dear kids, it can be a tough world out there, so please be kind to and gentle with yourself. And thank you for joining us this morning. Mr. Grizzly, words of wisdom, please.
Remember to turn your clocks ahead 1 hour this weekend.
Oh, yes.
Try not to be too jet-lagged next week.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I know we've got another day to remind you. I'll just keep reminding you.
Please, please. Yes, I had totally forgotten about that. All right. Well, I guess it's time to roll those credits, Mr. Grizzly. Please.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum. And The Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
Music stopped, dude.
Oh, sorry. So sorry.
It's okay. It just kept going in your head.
I just love that song. It makes me happy.
It's all good. Shameless self-promotion. Welcome to the place where everyone knows your name, where everyone's your friend, where good times are had by all. Sit back, relax, pour yourself a beverage and enjoy our company. I know we'll certainly enjoy yours. Welcome to the True North Eager Beaver Pubcast. Once a month, we gather at the Lieutenant's Pump at 361 Elgin Street in downtown Ottawa, Canada's capital city, bringing you joy and happiness all day long.
Yes, we're looking forward to that. And perhaps more philosophy from Kit Elaine, who says, if we all smash the button now, we do not need to remember to smash it later. Just
This
saying.
is true.
Very wise.
This is true. See you soon.
Bye.